Hey guys, welcome back to our final episode of this exclusive podcast here at Shady Oak Primary School at the Summer Success Summit. I am in my usual attire for being host. This was shot on the same day. Anyways, we are here. I am here with. I was about to call you Mason. I am here in my usual host attire, and I am here for the final episode with Robert, who
Hello.
is looking to start his own business. So, Robert, introduce yourself to the camera and the listeners behind the camera.
Hello, all you out there. Can't see you, but I wish I could. I'm Robert. I'm 4'5". Don't judge. I want to start a business with my friend Marcus, because over the school year we drew, colored, and basically just yelled at each other about what to do, and that was interesting. One of my favorite things was making our own universal worlds where we were the creators, and no one could defeat us unless all our monsters combined. Even though we just go and they'd gone. So that was the funnest part. But since it's a so long gap, we don't have much time to do that because it's such a long gap. 20 minutes is so long.
It's practically ages for this mind of these 8-year-olds nowadays. So, Robert, what exactly would your business be? I'm not talking names and copyright info, but what would be a general idea of what you're thinking about starting?
Maybe a 2 or 3 story building. You got the producers downstairs and
No, what's your business, not
Oh,
your
my business.
building.
oh, well, we're talking about buildings here. No,
No,
building illustrations, and maybe if I want to be a photographer as well, so I might go out, take some pictures, and then we animate them.
That would be an interesting combination. So, I mentioned last episode, if you have a passion, guys, you can turn that into a business, whether it's fishing or baking or technically writing. For me, I'm a literary nerd. So, but if you have two passions that you're equally fond of, like photography and illustration, you could combine that and make it like a hybrid business that Robert's talking about. So, would you, in your opinion, would you work with other people like you were talking about your friend? Would you not hire him, but work with him as a coworker in your business?
I don't think I want to be the owner. I think he might be the owner and hire me because I'm not a good boss, and also he came up with it. Also, I think we might hire people to do other things when we're not around. But besides that, probably I'd have
So
to ask him that.
you wouldn't exactly be a freelance photographer illustrator person. You would have coworkers, and a common theme recurring in these episodes, which, by the way, if you haven't watched the past 4, stop this video right now, hit that pause button, scroll in whichever way the next previous episode was, and watch it. Watch all the other ones too. That would be nice. Thank you. Continuing, choosing your coworkers is a process. You have to know your coworkers, and it can be a learning experiences. Like I've mentioned in the previous videos. So working with a group can have its challenges, but if you do it right, it can turn into a very successful business. So that's something to think about, young entrepreneurs that you are listening.
We'd probably give them a test or something to see. Maybe we'll give them a test on pictures if they want to be on the photography side, or drawing or coloring.
Create a BuzzFeed quiz, honestly. No.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be that accurate.
Give them a camera, a paper, and some colors.
Yeah. You could do whatever you needed as long as it didn't turn out to be a disaster, which is really the only criteria I have, at least me, for the first round of things is nobody dies, nothing blows up. So for the first rounds especially, it'll be a big trial and error. But it's interesting, I've never actually, throughout this podcast, I haven't talked to anyone that hadn't yet started a business but was thinking about it. Like Ireland already has her business, Mason already has her business, and then Anne Marie and Liam did their own thing at Shady Oak with the Genius Hour and Bazaar programs that we do here, which are, by the way, awesome. As speaking from personal experience, so parents, if you're listening, this is a pretty cool school. Shameless plug. So, Robert, what are you most looking forward to? I know you said that like it's photography and illustration that you're really fond of these things. So, what is the if you had to pick at least one aspect of this entire business, what would be your most looking forward to?
Photography, because I also want to be a photographer to like travel the world, take pictures of random stuff like monuments, people, Asia,
All good things, all good things. So, fruit. Hey, still lifes are actually really interesting if you stare at them long enough. Coming from a child whose mother is in fact the art teacher here. So
Right.
our house is filled with art and lots of other art supplies.
I also did
So-
give her an apron.
Oh yeah, nice.
Choose your weapon.
Sorry, I just blanked. But yeah, it's interesting too, because I don't know where I'm gonna go with this whole writing gig that I have. I'm actually writing the first draft of a novel, kind of this dystopian science fiction-y thingy. This is probably gonna blow over your heads, but honestly, hearing this, it's not what is inspiring me. Anything could happen. Really, you could have started. You can take your passions or take what you like and start a business about it. You can pitch it using our Shark Tank process. Here's a process. So you pitch it using our Shark Tank process, and then you decide if you want to work with people or you want to work by yourself. Each of them have their benefits, their pros and their cons. The negatives, the cons of being in a team, being you have to choose your coworkers wisely, and you would do that, honestly. I've had experience with that you've heard about in the previous episodes. So if you're still here and haven't gone back and watched it, last warning, go back and watch them. Not warning, I'm not that threatening, honestly.
Well, during the bazaar when I was here, I worked alone. Honestly, I couldn't find anyone that wasn't already in a group of like 10 people. Slight exaggeration, 3.
Yeah, finding partners in the business world can be hard. So, especially ones that you actually want to work with.
But like, so I made like little magic tricks what my dad came up with, but I made them a little bit. So like, not a little bit. I made half of them. So technically, it's like if you ever come back to the bazaar, I'll be making more. Don't worry, there were only 15 last time. There's like, they're like little like. Have you ever seen a bullet? It's like a shape of that with a rubber band at the end, and there's a little thing that you pull out, and it's the little hook. So you try and hook the rubber band, but there's a little thing that you pinch, and you're supposed to pinch it, and it shoots down, acting like you cut the rubber band, but you haven't. Well, everyone else is like. I also did colorings, but no one really liked the other ones. They only picked the ones that were like. They didn't pick the generic ones. They picked like random ones I made.
So that's another thing. The Shark Tank process is really helpful for that kind of thing because you only made 15, but they sold like hotcakes. So all this talking about hotcakes is making me hungry, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I live a sad life. But yeah, the pitching your ideas to people and seeing what they feel like, because you're not buying your product, it's the people that are buying your product. Simple as that, really. You want their opinions and their feedback on your thing that you're selling. So now that it's a learning experience, it's trial and error. Now that you know, next time you do the bazaar, which also we've talked about before, the bazaar, you would do more of these magic rubber band thingamajigs. So I do not have any more questions for you other than any advice you would give to young entrepreneurs sitting here or standing or laying down listening to this podcast or watching this podcast. So what advice would you give to them about wanting to start their own business?
First thing, go outside and look at the world because it's changed. Because you don't know if you want to keep doing it. My mom wanted to be a oceanographer until she went outside and went in the ocean and found out she hates all living creatures in the ocean. It changes. changes people.
And that is a good point. I think Liam mentioned in an episode he tried to make something and then he researched it and like tried it and it was completely different than what he expected. And that's true for anything that I've done, really. It's like you have to do your research and you have to know what you're doing before you do it. And sometimes it's not what you wanted to do. And that's okay. People and the world and things change. So that's good advice. So listeners and watchers, thank y'all for putting up with my sarcasm and ramblings for 6 episodes or 5 episodes. I can't use words and I can't count. Wow. Thank you for watching these 5 episodes, and hopefully those kids that are watching this, I know you're out there who are watching this, just get up, stop with the air guitar, and go make your own business. You can do it. Anything is possible. Chase your dreams. Stay happy.